You have already checked your phone 3 times since you sat down. Maybe more. You told yourself you were just going to glance at it, but then you unlocked it, scrolled something you won't remember in an hour, and put it down. And now, without even deciding to, your hand is moving toward it again. The real answer for why that happens is far stranger than you think, and it has nothing to do with willpower. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is working exactly as it was designed to work. The problem is that it was designed for a world that no longer exists, a world where the cost of missing something was not embarrassment or boredom. The cost of missing something was death. Think about what your ancestors faced every single day for hundreds of thousands of years. Not traffic, not emails, but predators, rival groups, sudden changes in weather, shifts in where food could be found, the rustle in the grass that might be the wind, or might be something that wanted to eat you. In that world, the brain that survived was not the calm brain. It was not the patient brain that waited and reflected. The brain that survived was the one that noticed. The one that could not stop scanning. The one that was always asking, is there something new? Is there something I missed? Is there something I need to know right now? That brain is your brain. You inherited it. And now it is pointed at a small glowing rectangle in your pocket. Neuroscientist Kent at the University of Michigan has spent decades separating two systems in the brain that most people treat as one thing: liking and wanting. They feel similar from the inside, but they are run by completely different circuits. Liking is what happens when you experience pleasure. Wanting is what drives you to seek it out before you get there. And wanting, Barrage has shown, is powered by dopamine. Not the dopamine hit you get when something feels good. The dopamine surge that happens in anticipation in the moment before you know what the notification says, in the half second before the screen lights up. Your phone is a wanting machine. It was engineered to trigger exactly that surge over and over at unpredictable intervals. And unpredictable is the key word. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran a now famous series of experiments with pigeons and lever presses. When a lever produced a reward every single time, the pigeons pressed it regularly and then stopped when they had what they needed. But when the lever produced a reward only sometimes at random intervals, something different happened. The pigeons became compulsive. They pressed and pressed and pressed far more than they needed to, far more than was rational, unable to stop. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it is the single most powerful behavioral pattern ever identified in any species. Your phone runs on a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. Sometimes you pick it up and there is something that makes you feel good, a message from someone you care about, a piece of news you were waiting for, something funny, something that feels like connection. And sometimes there is nothing. Just the same apps, the same feeds, nothing new, but you cannot know which it will be until you look. And that uncertainty that maybe this time is exactly what your dopamine system was built to chase. This is not a coincidence. The people who design these systems know exactly what they are doing. In 2017, former president of Pinterest and early investor in Facebook, Sean Parker, said publicly that the goal of social media platforms was to consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible. To do that, you exploit a vulnerability in human psychology. His words: a vulnerability, the variable reward, the social validation feedback loop. Give people a little dopamine hit every once in a while. But here's where it gets deeper. Your ancestors did not just need to scan for predators. They needed to scan for social information. Who was aligned with whom? Who was angry? Who had formed a new alliance? Who was being excluded? In a group of 50 people living and dying together, social information was survival information. A shift in the social landscape could mean you lost access to food, to protection, to mates, to everything that kept you alive. Your brain evolved to treat social updates as urgent, to feel the pull of unread information the way you feel the pull of hunger or thirst. Now think about what a social media notification is. It is social information. It is someone reacting to you or talking about you or choosing to connect with you or not. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a like on a photograph and the news that your position in the tribe has shifted. It processes both through the same ancient circuitry. It treats both as urgent. Psychologist Larry Rosen at California State University has studied what he calls technoference, the way technology interrupts thought and attention, even when you are not actively using it. His research found that the mere presence of a phone on a desk, face down, turned off, measurably reduces your cognitive capacity. Just knowing it is there pulls resources. Your brain is already partially devoted to waiting for it. You are not distracted by your phone. You are anticipating it. There is a difference. Distraction is passive. Anticipation is active. Your brain is working right now the same way it worked when your ancestors sat around a fire waiting for the sound that would tell them whether the night was safe or dangerous. It is scanning. It is ready. It cannot fully turn off because turning off was never safe. The attention economy did not create this tendency, it found it. It located an ancient mechanism buried deep in your neurology and plugged directly into it with precision tools. The infinite scroll was designed specifically to remove the stopping cue. When a book ends, you feel it. When a physical newspaper runs out of pages, you know. The infinite scroll has no end. There is no signal that tells your brain it is time to stop, because the feed never closes and your brain was never taught to manufacture that signal on its own. And yet, knowing this changes something. When you feel the pull toward your phone, what you are feeling is not weakness. It is not failure. It is an ancient system doing exactly what kept your ancestors alive on the savannah for 200,000 years. It is a threat detection and social monitoring system that never evolved an off switch because the off switch would have killed you. The discomfort you feel when you try to put the phone down and leave it alone, that low hum of anxiety, that sense that you might be missing something important that is not irrational. It is the same feeling your ancestors felt when they moved too far from the group, when they fell behind, when they lost sight of what was happening around them. It is the feeling of potential exclusion, potential threat, potential loss of information that could matter. Your brain does not know that you are sitting in a safe room. It does not know that nothing in that notification requires your immediate survival response. It knows only that there is unresolved social information. And unresolved social information, for the brain that evolution built, is something you deal with now. So the next time your hand moves toward that phone before you even decided to reach for it, understand what is actually happening. A system built over hundreds of thousands of years of survival pressure is doing its job. It is scanning. It is anticipating. It is watching for the thing in the grass. The grass is just a feed now, and the thing in it is probably someone else's lunch. But your brain cannot tell the difference. And that is the strangest, most human thing about you. You already checked your phone again, didn't you?